everyone. I wish I was there. But like many of you, working from home is still a reality. We have just heard a little bit about that. Hybrid solutions are the way forward. So um, let's get started. Well, I'm Brazilian by birth, German by zip code. That's where I am right now, and change agent and communicator by nature. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a background of what is happening in the supply chain industry, how digitalization is being taken as for DHL in specific. And I want to share a little bit about our strategy to put some context. Then I will have a little video to wake you up, hopefully. It's already 3:47, so the end of the afternoon is coming, so we need some incentives to keep up, and then I will go into some tangible examples of how we're bringing digitalization to the workforce within the HR supply chain. So I just want to get started with. We are the supply chain solutions company for the world. We are the largest in the market currently. And in order to keep that competitive advantage, we need to look at how the world is changing, right? Digitalization is definitely one key element that is changing every single business out there. Technology is now becoming more and more available to everyone, to all the industries. So it's something that it's also changing constantly and changing the way we work. Our customers have a completely different expectation now. They want more on-demand information. They want new value-added services to be delivered together with that digitalization aspect. Of course, there is the sustainability aspect as well that is incorporated in there. And in order to meet that, the way that we are collaborating with each other, the way that we are delivering that is also changing. So new skills are required. The way that we look at our processes also needs to change. And our DHL supply chain strategy is addressing all of those challenges and opportunities that are coming with those major trends. And we have made that very, very close to our strategy as an organization. I'm not going to go through all the details there, but what I want to show and talk about here is the fact that our strategy, the intent is to make it more tangible, more relatable, and more digestible to the audiences. We have the talent is younger, they're coming with a different mindset. So our strategy has been structured around hashtags, with focus, of course, on the talent, on the people, with focus on the execution, the way that we deliver our business. Of course, our customers are at the core at everything that we do. And it is part of our strategy as well to future-proof our business. So we have this hashtag on tomorrow, which is how we are looking at ways of improving our business to be more ready for a digital world. Let me briefly explain to you what is supply chain. So yes, warehousing, you're right, trucks, but there is much more than that associated with it. Our operations, we have over 2,000 sites across the globe, so it's quite significant. We have 10,300 vehicles around the globe, and we have 130,000 employees on the shop floor. In total, we are 160,000 employees. Just a reminder, I'm talking about supply chain only, not the DPDHL group. The DPDHL group has 500,000 people. But for supply chain, we are talking about 160,000 employees across the globe. And as you can see, most of our employees are actually on the shop floor. And when we're talking about innovation associated with the operations, it is that is the biggest audience that we have, and it's the audience that is being most impacted by digitalization. Yes, we have collaboration tools, digitalization initiatives for desktop employees, but that's not where the majority of our business is currently. And the way that we have set up ourselves is we look at innovation, all the trends that are coming in around the globe to understand which are the ones that we could implement into supply chain where we could benefit from. If there is something that we don't find on the market, we also have a way to incubate those ideas within the organization to make sure that we are meeting customer demand or a demand from the business as well. Once we identify those key technologies that have that could deliver more benefits to our organization, we put them into an acceleration mode. We look at ways that we can scale and industrialize those technologies within our organization, within the processes, of course, that we have in the supply chain. But not only that, we need to look at also how we are integrating those solutions to our existing systems to make sure that they communicate with each other, looking at our overall IT landscape through enterprise architecture, with always the intent to generate data, to give us input, and have a way forward with our technologies. I have mentioned that we have focused technologies that we are scaling. So we decided as a business to focus on 12 of them to make sure that they are scalable and that they are reaching all the regions across the globe. Some of them are robotic solutions, some of them are system solutions, and some of them are wearable devices. So there it is. This is what's happening in supply chain at the moment from a strategy and digitalization perspective. How do we bring that to our employees? I mentioned that most part of the population, and of course, most part of the population being affected by those technologies are actually not sitting, but they are on a shop floor across the globe. We have made sure that we cover that from a strategy perspective, that we communicate that everything that we do, that we communicate that strategy, that we have a mission in place. Of course, we want to be the supply chain solutions for the company, for the digital world, sorry. And the element that we needed to further enhance, it is the engagement. And that is the moment that I mentioned that hopefully I will wake you up a little bit. I will show you a video that we have put together at early stages around our digitalization to communicate a little bit what we want to achieve in that space, what are the benefits associated with it. I hope that has waken up you a little bit. The other element that I want to talk about is the fact that we needed to create a lot of transparency and visibility around the topics that we have been working on, right? That is an important element since the beginning, that we created a central hub for information. Often when you have a new program or something starting in your organization, we are always like sharing information one way towards our employees, which has its benefits, yeah, but we also wanted to make a home for where all the content is sitting. It doesn't matter if you are looking at the program from an IT perspective, from a finance perspective, from a people perspective, from a customer perspective. It is one centralized hub for everything that you need around that. Of course, with numbers and data, not showing there that in the slide, but with everything that you need to know and to understand where we are in terms of that engagement. But again, a microsite, a platform, is only accessible by desktop employees, right? So in order to make sure that our digital transformation would become a success in the organization, of course, we were looking at the technology side to make sure that we had an understanding of what they are, what are the impacts, the benefits of adopting them. But we also needed to make sure that we had representation within the organization. So if you have a global program and you want your organization to live it, and it's not having someone by the side or as a side task or as a side job that will make that successful. So we have dedicated resources within the regions to drive that closer to our operations. And the other element, of course, is also the change management aspect, which is the topic that I'm talking about now, to make sure that we have multipliers in the organization and that we are addressing any concerns that are related to the topic when bringing those technologies to our sites. A little bit exploring that angle, we have came up with a 3-step approach for our site managers. There is a study that looked at how people absorb information. And often we think that it's through communications, but actually people look at their managers as source of information. 70% of people tend to look at their managers rather than regular channels to get information. So we needed to enable our site managers to have a full picture of what was going on with the organization and what were the elements that were coming with that digital transformation. So self-awareness for them to understand what is coming, beef up their knowledge before they can empower others and use available communication tools to talk to the employees, and then eventually sustain the momentum around that, be able to tell them how the roles are changing, how the activities are changing, the dynamics that we will be adopting going forward. That often happens through Gemba Walk. It happens through performance dialogues, site town halls. There are many ways to reach out employees, posters, videos, all of that. But one thing that I want to highlight here is not only the fact that we have a collaboration hub where all the information is sitting, or awareness packs, but actually the game changer for our organization, which has been an app. A few years ago, the group, not only our division, has taken the decision to create an app that would integrate information across the globe, no matter where you are or which part of the organization you are, to connect people from a learning and development perspective, but also from an information perspective. And in addition to having the managers out there, we wanted to make sure that there was a two-way communication, digital one, for us to also communicate with our employees. I'm going to dive a little bit into the technology side of it, but I just want to say that we are in the process of bringing the entire organization into that application, into that app. By next year, we will have 100% of our employees onboarded on it, and it works basically like any device, Android or similar devices, in terms of intuitive ways of working. I'm not going to name social medias, but it works very similarly that way. In terms of the technologies, we also had to understand that when we were adopting them, what would be the impact that those technologies would bring and how it would change the way that people operate on the shop floor. So this is our assisted picking robot. There's no audio. I'm just going to add some information to it. Basically, how it works is employees are now taking care of an aisle within the warehouse, and the robots will come to them with the orders that they need to fulfill. You see that there is an intuitive tablet there. It will show the item that has to be picked from the shelf. The picker will take that from the shelf, scan the barcode, confirm that it has been picked, and then that robot will go to the next location for the next item to be picked within that space. And the benefits that we have seen, I mean, of course, when you talk about robotic solutions, people get a little bit scared, but there are a number of benefits that can actually be associated with it. There's less distance traveled within the organization, within the warehouse. And the fact that, well, we realized that actually employees were taking better care of their workspace. So replenishment, which is basically put items back to be available to pick up within the aisle, that was happening more seamless within the operations adopting those technologies. And as part of that, we needed to understand what were the tasks changes that were taking place, what are the new roles and activities that were being fulfilled there. You need a super user, you need someone on site that is able to troubleshoot anything. And the benefits that were added to not only to the business, not only to the warehouse productivity, but also to the employee. So that has been reflected as well in that same frame that we have created for the leader, where he understands before he can communicate, what are the necessary steps that he has to cover from a training perspective, from an activity perspective, and what are the key messages for him or her to use with employees when bringing that technology in, besides the training, which is also required, with some tips of how you should approach that with the employees. The eternal question that we all have in our minds when we talk about robotics and operations across the globe is man versus machine, right? We all want to understand, we all need to talk about and address that. Are robotic solutions in the end replacing employees? That is the sensitive topic, of course. But as an organization, we have done a study to understand exactly that. We wanted to be ahead of the curve in understanding it. So we actually have realized that the answer is no. Of course, no for the moment, right? I mean, we don't know how the technologies will be working in 5 or 10 years. But one thing that we have actually realized is the fact that the headcount will not change dramatically. What will actually change is the nature of the work and the way that we do that. And obviously, we have to enable employees to do that. But the overall number is not heavily impacted. The way that we operate, the way that we adopt the technologies, they're actually complementing the work. It's allowing us to focus on activities to create more value added for our customers and improve productivity. Also onboard a higher volume of, yes, products and goods that we move and keeping the headcount stable, but definitely not something that will dramatically change our organization. Thank you. I hope that you have enjoyed this virtual session. If you have any questions, please let me know.